All right, Kenny Glick trivia. What song do I usually put on before this when I was a DJ?
We had white horses and ladies by the score.
If you guessed ELO, you win.
Dressed in satin.
Hey, right now we're in a position on the board right there. We got about 16,000 shares of this stock Joby. And if you're just joining us, we are in the midst of the greatest 6 weeks in the history of trading. And if you think that tone of my voice is being sarcastic, I am trying to be as least sarcastic as I possibly can. Ladies and gentlemen, we have just witnessed a miracle. And that miracle is the bull market that is always on. There is no such thing as a bear market any longer. So, what we witnessed over the last, let's go back to, let's say, November, where we finally saw a blow off top and the market was telling us a little something about running out of steam. The Oracle trade kind of gave us the hint that the software stocks were not good, and we thought it could translate into a sell-off. I gave you the date where the sell-off would get more intense on March 20th. And then on March 31st, I alerted you to the power gap where the government of these United States, who have taken over the market in 2009, showed up and said, all right, enough is enough. It's time to go back up. And if you've not noticed, let me explain this to you one more time. Every reason that you thought the market was going down from January, or let's say February 3rd, where it really started to accelerate, from February 3rd to March 31st, every single reason that was the quote unquote reasons, everything that you thought, everything the media said, the internet, your friends, your uncle, everything is worse. Everything. Inflation is at the highest point it's ever been. The price of oil is still going up. The war is still raging. We're still being fed misinformation on it on a daily basis. The president, whether you like him or not, is still the president. Inflation is here. The bubble talk has not gone away. The circle jerk of companies padding each other's books is still in play. Nothing has changed. But the market has now rallied 22% in 5 weeks. So what you're supposed to be saying right now is, how is this possible? It doesn't make any sense. So finally, after 15 or 20 years of, maybe some of you guys have been watching me for 20 years, that's been what I've been trying to say. Especially since 2009, when the government of these United States ended free market capitalistic, the free market capitalistic notion of this country itself was socialized in 2009, when the government of these United States literally took over the banking system and broke the stock market to only go up. They will not allow it to have a prolonged downtrend. Now, for the last, maybe since 2009, since I started saying that, I've always been an advocate of the market never going down anyway. But in 2009, it solidified it and has guaranteed it now. So if you're delusional enough to look at this market and not see it, ask yourself, why? What are you not seeing here in these last 6 weeks that I've been trying to explain to you for the last 20 to 30 years? Now, everything that I've said has officially been proven. I've already proved the market's rigged by the anomaly prints throughout the day and how we ebb and flow to earning to VWAP to VWAP. That's the programming, the rigging of the market. But the overall rigging of the market is its inability to actually stay down. We all understand it does go down. We profited from it pretty nicely from February 3rd to March 31st. But understanding that the market is programmed ahead of time, what you're witnessing is the proof. We're not here to debate about it any longer. You just saw it now over 6 different individual times over 1 year period, from the tariff cardboard day where the market was plummeting because he was just throwing out random numbers and mentioning companies. I still don't understand why the market tanked that much, but I think that was part of the manipulation. They just decided to pull the bid, used it as some scary moment. And if you were with us that night when the Qs were plummeting off the face of the earth, all they did was go back to the 200-day VWAP. We weren't afraid. We saw where the support was. And we also knew that we're in a market that never goes down. And 3 days later, they flipped the switch. And we saw a 10% candle, something I had never seen in before in my entire life. I've never seen a market go up 10% in a day. And there it was. I thought I had seen everything up until that point. And then I saw a 10% candle, also known as a power gap, right? And I said, okay, market's done going down. Whatever that was, it's over now. And that gave birth to the greatest bull market we had ever seen. But before that happened, and by the way, I just sold some Joby, 933.34. Thank you very much. I'm out. I got a couple of hundred left, looking for 950. And by the way, this is just your classic 1 minute multi-day VWAP reversal. The trade works every single time, and every time I see it, I try to take it, and it just keeps working. I've never seen anything like this, and like I keep saying you, not only are we in an unprecedented moment, this is by far the quote-unquote, I'm using quotation fingers because it's still difficult because fear and disbelief. I don't know why you're afraid or disbelieve at this point. This is the easiest market that's ever happened because of the follow through. There are days where you'll buy a 1 minute multi-day VWAP break. The stock will go up 8 cents, chop around between and do nothing, inevitably roll over, and you wind up getting out flat or a small loss. Every single trade, you're getting follow through to the point where you're making not just a day's pay, but pretty decent money on almost every trade. There's follow through on everything. Even shorts, if you trade accordingly, right? Like the Roku. And obviously you knew the trade wasn't going to last because shorting is short-lived and you're going to die. But we crushed it on the Roku. And then you had to Reddit. Crushing Reddit. But while you're shorting things, you always got to remember, think of it as an AA meeting or a Alaron meeting, or just think of it this way. You are doing something illegal, right? And the cops are on your trail. Think of yourself as an outlaw. And here come the marshals riding on horseback. You better hit the road. Or be slick about it like a ninja. You're doing something illegal, get in, get out, nobody's seen you, take the money and run. Stick and move, rock. You want to be a shorter in a market that never goes down? You better play by the rules. So let's go back to this whole idea about the market being rigged to only go up. It's no longer a debate. I have proved it now. In these last 5 weeks, every reason that was out there that the market was going to continue to fall, that this bear market was legitimate, or otherwise known as this time is different, as they started to say. The papers were being written about how the price of oil was going to cause stagflation and the inflation was going to kill us. The debt to 37 trillion was being written about again. So everything that has happened over the last 5 weeks, 6 months, year and a half, none of it equals a market that should be going up right now. There's not much going on other than the big picture is that we are in a new industrial revolution, and you're just living in denial, and this market's about to double. But the most important thing is the government of these United States have your back. It's not Trump, it's not Bush, it's the United States. So if you want to give somebody credit, who was president in 09? Because that's who built it. I don't know I don't remember who the president was in 09. Was that Bush or Obama? I don't remember. Irrelevant. Right? Just like who the president is irrelevant. What companies report on their earnings reports, irrelevant. Macroeconomics, irrelevant. Interest rates, irrelevant. War, irrelevant. The market is broken. We're no longer in a capitalistic free market. It's not being influenced by what it should be, quote unquote should. There is no should in the markets anymore. There is only one premise. It's built to go up. And the only time it goes down is when they try to create a wealth transfer event by factoring in something that they make it fearful. But now, as we just went through another episode, the short people, the skeptics out there, my idiot uncle, he's still out there. People like that who still think the market's rigged against them, that it only goes down. They're delusional. My uncle's delusional, and that's why he has all his money in CDs and drives a Camry from 1989. And what my father, who believes in the market being rigged to only go up, owns 3 different timeshares all around the world and does whatever he wants and takes the family on cruises twice a year on the money he's made in the market. Not delusional. Understands the market doesn't go down. And still is long growth stocks at 81 years old. Not selling. Even though I beg him to sell every once in a while, at least hedge, and he comes out ahead every year. So if you don't believe now that the government has stepped in and taken over this market, what more do you need to see? You're seeing blatant rigging. You're seeing manipulation. You're seeing algorithmic printing. You're seeing it right in front of you on a daily basis. And you're also seeing a market that just went up where right in the face of everything that was telling us that was the reason we were going down. So what's changed? Nothing. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed except the fact that everything that was making the market, quote unquote, making the market go down for 6 weeks has gotten worse. So why have we rallied to all-time highs? Because it's rigged. It's broken. It doesn't reflect society. It doesn't reflect reality. And if it does, the only reality this market's reflecting right now is the next 15 to 20 years of an entire new industrial revolution of space, rockets, robots, quantum, AI, and chips. And that's the thing. And that's the way that you got to be looking at this market. There is no such thing as a bear market. We have an industrial revolution going on, plus the government will never let us go into a bear market. How are you not bullish all the time? And remember, when I was super bearish, what was I telling you each and every day? This ain't going to last. I can't believe it's working. I can't believe it's working. This is not going to last. Oh my God, I can't believe it's working. Wow, look at us making money on a short. This ain't going to last. And then they flipped the switch. And in that one freaking day that I hesitated to cover everything, I left about $27,000 on the table. Ridiculous. So you walk in today, right? And I don't know what I was looking at. I thought I was hallucinating. I saw the QQQ was red. What in the hell is that? How the that's what I still don't understand. How I don't understand. I really don't. How the hell were the Qs even down this morning? I don't care. As soon as they broke VWAP, I'm in. Still in. Not selling. And I'm thinking we're going to be closing at 680 today and gapping to 702 on Monday. So I got zero reason to sell. And yesterday, you using that notion that we never go down, Microsoft, right, was actually red yesterday. Not my world. In my world, I bought it here, got paid. It actually crashed at the open, which was very surprising. Faux show, bro. Got paid. Very disappointing right there because I thought that would have been the move that takes us higher. Had to sell out of it. And then it faux show broed again. Got paid again. If you're going to be shorting in a market that never goes down, let me show you what it looks like. You want to be shorting stocks that are gapped up, that roll through the VWAP, through pre-market lows, that have just reported earnings, that are gapped up, that are susceptible to profit taking. Kind of like the Caterpillar yesterday, right? I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it. It showed up. I got short. I immediately got smoked because the market doesn't like going down. And then I gave it another shot right here. When it rolled, I was up money, wound up losing it all, and then a little bit, and then a little, and then some. Very difficult market to be a shorter. But this morning, I mean, just about 20 minutes ago, I was like, hey, look at that. A big fat algorithmic number, a whole number print. I got lower highs being formed at 903. I got an inverse ass crack VWAP break. And then I got a new low break. I finally did this trade. And look how nice. Blue line to the orange line. Covered most of it. I got about, what do I got? I got 22 shares left. And then I got Joby, which I still got on a little bit. You know, again, this is your classic day trade. Chopping around. Everybody loves themselves some flying contraption stocks. You know about all these, like the Archers, the Jobies, anything that flies, your drone stocks. We love them all. Everything's in the bull market right now. So what are you doing? Fake them out, shake them out. 1 minute multi-day VWAP break. I got in late, still getting paid. That's why this market is so exceptional. You can make mistakes and they're turning into be winners. It's hard to be long and wrong. You ever hear that phrase, right? It's very hard to be long and wrong right now. But let me remind you while we're sitting here having this casual conversation, this type of environment that we're in right now leads you into doing something stupid. You're going to be so complacent soon that you're like, oh, man, we're never going down ever again. And chances are we are never going to go down again. But there's going to be a day, I'm telling you, in the next 6 weeks, we have a down day. One. So again, address it when it comes, if it ever does. But right now you have to assume only up, power gap still intact. Every pullback is a buy. There is zero reason to be a shorter unless it's a specific earnings gap, VWAP break. Those are the only shorts worth taking. Everything else is a buy. So when I've been talking about the Qs, how I'm never selling, instead of selling them, if you think it's a short opportunity every once in a while, like we just had, we took an opportunity and we shorted the Qs. Not selling. You could day trade the short for this little moment and then go back to your regularly scheduled program of the Qs going to 1,048. Sorry, 1,043. Sorry, I don't want to exaggerate. 1,043 on April 20th at 1:43 p.m. 2028. Be there. And also, I want you to sell some Joby right here at 9:43. And when you go back for a second and reflect, sold to you, 9:43. I'm out. I don't have any left now. I only had a couple left. Just sold 9:43. Have a nice day. When you go back and reflect on what we're trying to accomplish here as day traders. See this Joby trade? We've already done 8 pretty sweet trades already. This is what we call icing on the cake. Why am I even in this name? Because the stock's on my watch list. I like it. It trades well. I like the sector. I'm always watching it. I caught it off the scanner. I missed the best entry at 902. I missed a good entry at 906. I missed a good entry at 98, 910. But then it went green. That's the reversal part. So the 1 minute multi-day VWAP reversal. The reversal is when a stock just goes from green to red, or in this case, red to green. Back in the 90s, before we traded VWAP, we would just buy stocks when they would go from red to green. It was just a reversal because the market, if you guys remember 1999, almost very reminiscent to the market we're in right now, it never went down. So you had a 95% chance if a stock went green, it would turn and burn. We're in the same environment. So even though I missed a really nice entry at 9, it was at $9.17. I just assumed it was going to go green. You buy yourself 3,000 shares of a $9 stock. Everybody can rock that. You sell some at $9.25. You sell some at $9.32. You sell some at $9.43, and now you're done. Have a nice day. It's more money than most people are going to make all day, maybe even all week. We're very lucky. We're very fortunate. We're living through this moment right here. We have a skill set that transcends all markets, bear market, bull market, sideways market. And when it's this easy to trade, you got to be stepping up. You got to be taking a little bit more size. You were about to buy 400 shares of Joby? No, buy 800. I was going to do 1,000. Fuck that. I bought 3,000. Step it up. Start stepping it up. Because it's not always going to be like this. We're going to get some chop. We're going to get nastiness. There's going to be days where it's impossible to make money. They're coming. Where you just have excessive chop. Very difficult environment. We'll have lack of earnings season. It's not going to be this easy. You got to be milking it for every penny you can get right now. This is the best of the best. It's never going to be like this. Because right now, the shorts are nervous and everybody wants into the market. You're getting follow through on everything. It is the best. I've never, ever seen anything like this before. I never thought I would say that again in my lifetime. After seeing what I saw in April and May of last year, I thought I was done saying I've never seen anything like this. These last 6 weeks, folklore will be written about these last 6 weeks. It's so incredible that if we didn't live it, I wouldn't believe it happened. And all the while, we still managed to find a few short trades in here. And look at the Caterpillar now, what do you know? I break it down a little bit. Maybe I do make an extra 4 points on this trade. And I got nothing. I got a squadouche left, but it's all right. Listen, I almost lost close to $1,000 trading 50 share lots of the stock yesterday. So it adds up. I don't got to go crazy. A $900 stock, you trade 120 shares of it. You trade in 20 share increments. You make some money, right? You short 120 shares at, where did I get short? 180, whatever it is. Still money. Money I'm going to pay for dinner tonight with. Got to pay for goods and services somehow. So, like I said, right now I have zero incentive to sell the Qs because I believe they're going to 680 Monday, at least. But they're not going to stop there. The next projected move we have is 702, then 720, and then 850. Let that factor in, right? So you're going to sell up here because of $1 pullback and miss out on the next 200 points. Why? Don't sell. Do not sell the Qs. Do not sell the Qs. Do not sell the Qs. That was a dramatic pause for drama, because now I'm going to add the only if, unless they break prior day lows. You know where prior day lows are on the Qs right now? About 20 points away. Right? Prior day lows. Not today's lows. Prior day lows. 657.50. Anybody think the Qs are going there? No, they're not. So we're not selling. But here's what's going to happen. Over the next couple of weeks, we're going to 680 on Monday. We're going to 672 by next Friday. Okay, great. We don't 602. We'll probably go to 720. But inevitably, we're going to go sideways for a moment to consolidate. Right? So what's going to happen next is that the ranges will be tighter and prior day lows will be closer, giving the market a chance to actually break a prior day low. And if and when that happens, we will sell. Until that happens, strap in, kids. 1,043, April 20th, 2028 at 1:43 p.m. Do the math. It's not even a big deal anymore. It's a 51% move from here in the next 2 years. You don't think that's about to happen? Are you insane? Why are you selling? Don't sell. AMD is going to 500. They're going to do for 5-for-1 split. Apple's about to go back to 350. They're going to do a 2-for-1. Amazon, when that hits 350, they're going to do a 2-for-1. Tesla goes back to 500. They'll probably do a 5-for-1 because they like when the stock goes back to 100 so they can run it back to 500, which officially makes it a $3,000 stock. What that's going to do. Netflix will get out of its own way. You know, that stock's going back to 120. Where's Meta going? 750. Palantir will be on its way back to 180. And Google will be at 500 doing a 5-for-1 split there. And then once they split all those stocks, what's going to happen? To the guy in the back, he just said, well, splits don't really make the stock more valuable. Yeah, they do. Because all the people that can't afford to buy Tesla now at 400, they're going to love it at 100. They don't care that it's still relatively the same price of the stock. They see it at 100, they want in. And it gives birth to a whole new generation of people buying the stock at 100. Nobody cares about valuation. I sell puts on the Qs. Yeah, well, I have to start thinking about unwinding this horrible position I'm in. So I sell puts and calls. It's called a short strangle. And the idea is I sell calls way out of the money and I sell puts way out of the money. And I hope that the Qs live in between that big range. But right now, I'm getting freaking smoked. I'm down 300%. Well, again, some of these options are 3x against me. Even 150 points away, that's how much the market's rallied. And I'm starting to feel the pain. Because I shorted 820s and 850s and 950s for next year. 950s. I sold them at $7. They're at almost $30 now. The idea is that you're selling premium on both sides. And as long as the Qs don't go to 820 by January, they will still expire worthless. So I sell. So basically, it's a short strangle. And, I'm selling puts. So basically I have a 385, 820 short strangle. But now the calls are going so against me that the puts that I'm making money on, the sold naked puts that are pretty much disintegrating every day, it's not compensating for the amount I'm losing on the call side. So I'm starting to get a little nervous, especially because I do think the Qs are about to blast off for another 100 points. I might have to eat this freaking trade, which is just awful. But I'm not going to overstay my welcome here. I really do think we're going to 702 probably next week. 720 is in our sights. And if we break 720, we're at 750 then. And then 750 gets us 1,000. It might even happen before you know it. There's no way I'm staying short. So I might have to take the hit, which is just, I never even thought I'd have this conversation with myself. Because as much as I thought this market would rally, I was thinking 675, maybe October. We're already here. By the way, Joby 950. There it is. Joby 950. If you have any left, sell some here. And you see how that trade? This is a $1,500 trade, just goofing around, right? Just goofing around. Faux show, bro. 1 minute multi-day VWAP reversal. Stock goes green. Where's it going to go on a Friday? 9. Get you 950. It's just market mechanics. That's why the Qs now they're above 675. Where are they going? 670, 750. Then what happens? 680. Then they gap on Monday. 685. Where do they go? 700. Where do they go after 700? 750. 750 gets you 1,000. That's why I'm not selling. It's actually almost a hedge now because I'm getting slammed on these naked calls. But you understand, this is still the same trade. The QQQ trade, right? For us, or for some of us, this is still the same trade. There's been zero reason to get out except for taking profit at 670, 672.50, and 675. You sold some at 672.50 on the way down, and the next stop was 670. Are we under 670? The answer is no. Are we still long the Qs? Of course we are, because they're going to 1,000. You're worried about a 2-point pullback on something that's about to lift off for another 400 to 500 points? Why? So some of our traders in the room this morning was shorting the Qs because you had a double top and then a range break, double bottom break. And we, as it was happening, I explained, all right, if you're going to short them, you're shorting them right now. And you're looking for the VWAP retrace. You got it. So then when you got down there, I started to explain to everybody, all right, the short's probably over by now. You're a faux show, bro, away from going back to highs. Hello, right here. So my suggestion is don't short, don't sell, and victimize everybody that thinks that shorting is a viable way of doing business right now. It's over. You get moments, and every time you see there's a moment where the stock is going down, you should be saying one thing to yourself: I'm going to crush these people because they're going to overstay their welcome They're going to think, oh, this one's different. Oh, this one, yeah, we're going to roll over today. No, no, no. NVIDIA, 250. Remember, it's not upside targets that count. Who cares? The target on NVIDIA is never sell. Why would you sell it? The only thing you should be asking yourself about any of these stocks is, when do I sell it? The target for NVIDIA is 1,000, 1,000,000, right? It just finally broke out. Now it's selling off. If it breaks down, you're a seller, right? Target remains 500,000, literally 500,000. Like, it's still good. There's no reason to sell it. It's it just had a faux show, bro. This is almost a 55-point move. Here's your consolidation. Consolidation leads to a breakdown. Maybe you sell. But they're going to report earnings in 2 weeks. Stock's going to be gapped up 12.5%. You know it. But for me, NVIDIA, I'd rather own the Qs. Microsoft, I'd rather own the Qs. And by the way, you see the Microsoft, we sold it, right? Because it broke down. And what did that serve us? Served us nothing. And now we're not in a stock that's about to go up another 100 points. See, I put a stop on it at 412.50 because I was like, if it breaks 412.50, I'll sell the rest. So it goes to 412.50, goes down a whopping $2, and now where is it? It's up 5 points. This is why I'm never selling. It's not about targets. If a stock breaks a low, that's significant. And on NVIDIA, what price would that be? It would probably be right at probably the 1 month. It is. Coincidentally, there it is. The 1 month VWAP, prior breakout levels. But once it sells off, then what? It's going to consolidate, inevitably start going back up. So, but you just hit a little air pocket right there, friends. That was something significant just now. You just hit 675 on the Qs and it had a little rug pull action. Do you see that? So the sellers just showed up again. And where'd they show up? The same price they showed up earlier, because the market's rigged. It's all programmed. You think that rug pull came out of nowhere? No. It's the same exact seller that was here earlier. Same seller here. And on that note, I'm out of here. Because I hope this selling becomes something. I hope they get a chance. I hope they bring it all the way back to 672, or even worse, 671. Because I know for a fact that we'll be ripping into the close, right probably to 4 p.m., to 5, to 7. And the only thing that's going to stop this market going up tonight is that it shuts off. And as soon as it opens up Sunday morning, it'll continue its move up. And if I'm wrong about it, 670 is my closest stop. None of this up here is even phasing me. And I hope it rolls over, because then we get to buy some lottos into the end of the day. And not puts. Pullbacks are for buyers. All right. And if you guys just enjoyed that Joby trade with me, fan-freaking-tastic, right? How about that? 9 got us 950. That's all we wanted, right? Have a great week. And if anybody's joining us in the park, let me know. My email is kennyglick@aol.com. If anybody's coming to the Monday event at the stock exchange, we got a rooftop party afterwards. Let's chill. Drinks are on Howard Linzon. Let's milk him for all he's got. Free food, free beer, and DJ and a comedian. So it should be a fun time. I'll see you on Monday. That's this Monday, so I'm not going to be. I'll be gone Monday at around 1, and I'm not coming back till probably Tuesday night, and then I'll be back Wednesday morning. We got a Wednesday night circle jerk event where I'm going to promote my Glicks Picks thing, talk about how special I am. Small bus special. I'll put a helmet on, the whole thing. Wednesday, we got that going on. Thursday, we got what's going on Thursday. Grateful Dead. Might not be here Friday, as a matter of fact. And then we got the weekend. And then Monday, Tuesday. That following Tuesday, if you guys are in New York City, come frolic with us with Steve Leisman's band. And it's time for Dead in the Park, my friends. Dead in the Park. All your favorite players will be there. Joe Leisman, Steven, sometimes Josh Brown shows up. He's a Dead fan. So Dead in the Park, if you are in the area. If you didn't know, Steve Leisman. That's last year's date. Tuesday, May 12th at the Namberg Band Shell. It's right in the middle. Got this little cool acoustic thing to it. And we play some Frisbee, we hack, we drink. And good time. Good time is had for all. If you like the Grateful Dead, even better. 2 sets of Dead music. All right. I'll see you when the queues are at 680 this afternoon. I don't know what the hell what did I just do? Oh, I hit the on demand. What did I do? What the hell did I do? I broke my chart. That's what I did. What did I just do? I don't know what I'm looking at, but I wish that was real. The Qs are breaking VWAP at 180. What the? What did I just broke my. What did I do? I've gone back in time. What happened? I'm back in 2018. I wish. Ah, I just had to click the button again. Yeah, buy it. Yeah. My dad's still in from 2018. All right. Maybe I'll see you guys next week. A couple of different events. And if not, have a great weekend. And remember, my friends, take a moment to reflect on what we're doing here. It's a very special moment in time. We're lucky enough to be able to spend it with like minded individuals, all with the same goal. And also take a moment to reflect that the market will never really truly make sense ever again in our lifetime when it's controlled by a government. It does whatever it feels like, and most of the time it feels like going up. And also remember, my friends, hypocrisy is really the true enemy of society and human nature and human race. Compromise will save us. Nobody gets what they want. If everybody gets a little bit, we should be happy. You know what I'm saying? So I'll play us out with this, and you guys have a great weekend.
I saw her today at the reception. A glass of wine in her hand. I knew she was gonna meet her connection. At her feet was a footloose man. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. But if you try sometime, well, you might find you get what you need. I went there to this demonstration to get my fair share of abuse. Saying we're gonna be frustration. If we don't, we're gonna blow a 50 amp fuse. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. Try sometimes, will you just have fun? You get what you need. Oh, yeah. I went there to the Chelsea drugstore to get your prescription filled. I was standing in line with Mr. Jimmy. A man, did he look pretty ill? We decided that we would have a fun. My favorite flavor, cherry red. I thought back home to Mr. Jerry. Yeah, and he said one word to me, and that was it. I said to him, you can't always get what you want. No, you can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. No, but if you try sometime, it just might find you get what you need. Oh yeah. glass was bleeding me. She was practiced at the art of deception. Well, I could tell by her bloodstained hands. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, it's just my fine. It's just my fine. Oh, yeah.
All right, guys, enjoy. I might be back by 3:00, but I might not. But I'll be checking in to make sure I'm assuming we're going to 680. So I'm hoping we dip one more time so we can trap more people. So the rip will be even more dramatic into the close. And again, I'm not even caring about the close too much today. I'm pretty sure we're going to be at 680 next week. I'm already factoring that in. And that's not going to be any, that's just going to be an area to sell a little bit. But 602 and then 620 are truly right in our sights. So, but I'd like a little sell off to, trap some more shorts, get people to sell. So they'll all have to chase on the way back in. All right. Be careful out there, friends. You said swell.